Welcome back to all the crackers in the box. Well, I just felt like doing a little stitching, trying to get this guy done, as I always say every time I start it. Got this eye almost totally finished, so I started working on this one over here, if you can see that. So, just a little bit of stitching today. Alright, so I'm going to look at my pattern here for one moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to do 7. I'm really looking forward to getting this one finished. This one just seems to be so time consuming. Probably because the stitching is so small. I'm going to move on to my cat. What cat, you say? Oh, you'll love it. It's beautiful. 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of twisting around here on the. I'm getting too much tail. 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. Skip 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that lines up with supposed to. And we come back and complete our X's. Super duper satisfying. I feel like it just ends it off. There are times when stitching goes really fast for me and other times where it's just kind of a struggle. I don't stitch as much as I crochet, so it kind of can be a little bit less practiced, even though I've done it quite a bit longer. I do like a lot of cross-stitch pictures. There are so many beautiful pictures out there and so many that are just sassy as can be. There's one that I really am quite tempted by. It's a book of Golden Girl cross-stitch, and I think that is so fun. I don't know if I really need it, but I'm thinking about it. It's definitely on my radar of something that's probably pretty funny. I do also like the snark one, where you like take a very traditional picture and you put something on that's very untraditional for wording and usually quite offensive. So I've held off, being that I have small children in my house, but eventually they will be big children, so I'll wait till then. Because I can't see myself not enjoying some of these sayings just because I've gotten older. Because they make me laugh. What can I say? So this is Anchor. Really old Anchor white that I'm using. So it will sometimes do this. And I think I cut this whole thing a little too long. So once in a while it will knot, and I'll just try to keep the knot in the back. That's okay. I don't mind. I just want to kind of get some of these older ones out of my stash because I have a large stash and we do have some Anchor and JP coats in there, but we don't use them often, so I thought I'd just throw them into this random pattern that isn't, see, like that's just fine. I thought that's where we were going to have to tuck it, but no. A little embarrassing for the people that do this a lot more than I do. Definitely be like, oh, don't do that. But that's how I've always done it. Get a little knot, it's not the end of the world. Okay, a little twisty. So I'm not a big fan of Anchor. That is for sure. I find that this is very tricky to work with. But like I said, I want it out of my stash because my mom's talking about me and her getting some of the stuff we're missing. And I'm going, okay, well, can we use up some of the stuff that we are not needing, like the no-name brands and all that? If you want all the AMC, that's fine. But can I use up some of the other stuff first? My dark and dreary unicorn I want to do is going to be a lot of grays and beiges and antique violet. That's one of the colors that's in there. And that one's going to be a lot of fun for me to do, but I have to get some colors, unfortunately. I have some. I looked at replacing some of them, but if I can get the actual colors, I'd rather do that. So we're going to try and get those soon. Makes the most interesting sounds, I swear. I really enjoy the sound of the needle going through. Sometimes you just need that kind of calming energy when your world is loud and full of everything. I've always heard that lots of boxers like to do needlework. I mean, they're very aggressive in their day job and stuff like that, and then they do this to just calm their mindset. I thought that was really neat. I know about sailors and the crochet. That makes a lot of sense to me because sailors would have to fix their nets, right? Who's going to do it? Gonna wait till they get to port? Sometimes it takes a long time to get there. The net still has to be fixed, right? And our knot has disappeared in the back. I don't think I have to really dig it in. It feels like it's in a great spot where it's not gonna come loose. So that's fine. Because of course I got mother hand back there that I'm feeling it, so. Yeah, we're in confetti land. Like over here I've got a couple, one or two of a couple colors just to add the extra shading. I think this ended up being this was a simple picture. It shouldn't have been this complex with this many colors. I don't know why I did it like this, but I did, and I didn't realize till I started working on it that it had decided to. No, it didn't. It was something I'd done because of learning the program still. Even though I've had this program a long time, but I don't cross stitch as often as I should, I guess. And of course I had to use white, right? And I do watch other people do cross stitching too, as well as crochet and crochet accessories. It's a lady, I can't think of her name right now. She does a lot of soft talking. And right now she's working on a beautiful peacock. It's gorgeous. It's so many blues and greens. Totally jealous of her colors, just because I like working with pretty colors, and that's okay. Like if I really wanted to do it, I'm sure I could find it and do it myself, but I am enjoying watching someone else do it because I don't really want the picture. It would be just nice to work on it. I used to always help my grandmother with hers sneakily. She always had like Santa Claus ones going. I'd mess up her count. I'd just come along and do a stitch, not knowing if it worked. That was a little stinker. Santa Claus picture she was always doing out of our Leisure Arts hardcover books, which I still have, all the Christmas ones. So I may have to be taking a look at some of that stuff at some point. See what was popular back in the day. I haven't felt like going and looking at my magazines and hardcover pattern books in a while. Probably should. I'll probably find some really cool wares that I want to make. And this goes right to the same spot. Yes, it sure does. Right to the same spot. So I don't know if you can see it as well as me, but there's a line right here where it's stopping. This is just material. And yeah, I'm going to be starting some new projects pretty quick here. Finishing up a couple old ones, and some new ones are coming along to replace them. Some bigger ones. Some smaller amigurumis are going to be slipped in as well. As you've already seen this week, I've started a small project that I'll probably have done within a day or so. It's not very big at all. But I thought it was adorable, so it got put on the list. And yeah, so there's a couple things I have planned out that I want to make, or at least attempt to make. And a couple things I'm thinking about, because I don't know how I want to make them, if I want to do my own thing or follow a pattern, see what I come up with. But yeah, that is something I've been working on here and there, especially with wearables. I like a loose, open, lacy type deal. So one of the ones I'm considering is almost a poncho-y type with floss soles, sort of mixed in with the skulls. But I might decide to use different skulls. I don't know. I'm just very back and forth on that one. Because I've just started the planning process. I have the yarn that I want. It is Salt and Shadow from Hobie. And it's a dark blue, white, leather gray. And it's got, I think, black on the outside. Hence why it's called Shadow. I know, amazing. But it is beautiful, and unfortunately it was not big enough to make a good sized shawl because the Lost Souls is quite loose and very large. So I've seen some pineapple stitch shirts that I've really enjoyed, and I thought, this is pretty similar in a lot of ways, so maybe I could just adjust a little bit, change the stitch up. And see what happens. Oh, yes, looking great. Nope, getting a knot again. And I've lost my needle. Well, this just says to me it's time to put it away. After you clear up this one. I caught this one soon enough that I should be able to take care of it pretty quick here. Just when they really get tight, you just end up tearing your floss, and that's never good. Alright, so I'm just going to go to the end of this row. Okay, and I think I got my glasses on, right? It's going to be tricky. So try it this way. Fold it over. And this is supposed to work, but this has such a thin eye that I was end up just having to cut it. So, make it a little snippy. Find the eye and blow on through. Just a few more and I'll be at the end of this row. I've only got about 6 more rows of white to go, and that is the bulk of the white for this pattern. It does say over 2,000 for this one pattern, but that's because the original background had a checkerboard in the background and I didn't want the checkerboard, so I'm just not going to be putting checkerboard into the finished piece. I will be doing backstitch, which brings me lots of joy. I really like backstitching, just because it's a way to really outline it and make it pop. So like these are going to be a lot more noticeable. You can see them really well on the camera, but in real life they're very blended. Anyways, I'm just gonna put this whole thing away and say thank you for joining me here at All the Crackers in the Box, and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.